Hello everyone. Today our topic research process or steps involved in the research. Now before going to discuss about the concept, so let us just remind the term research. So research is a systematic inquiry about problems or it is a continuous process. Research is continuous process of analyzing the data, interpretation of data, finding a solution to the problem, and ultimately giving scope for further research. Or in simple word, research means to search again and again or to find out again. So this is the meaning of research, which we already discussed in the previous videos. Today's class we are going to discuss the research process or steps. Now the question is, what exactly a research process? From the starting of research, from the start of research till the end of research, what and all you do, that is called research process. I repeat, from the starting of research till the end of research. So what are the things that the researcher carried out, or what are the things that you need to do, or what are the process or step you go through, what we call it as a research process. Now what are the process of research, what are the steps involved in the research? So going to discuss one by one. The first step involved in any research, that is formulation of a research problem. So formulation of research problem is one of the basic requirement of any research. To conduct a research, there should be a problem. Okay, you should identify the problem. Now what exactly the problem is? Problem means at present there is no solution. Okay, problem, it means at present there is no solution, or in other words, it is a question, there is no answer at the present. It is a question, there is no answer at present. So through research you are trying to find out the answer or solution. To research you are trying to find out the answer or solution. So this is what the first step, formulation of research problem or identification of research problem. So you should identify the research problem. Now for example, uh, after careful analysis, you found that your business suffering from a major problem, for example, a lack of productivity. Okay, so lack of productivity is one of the major problem. Okay, now here lack of productivity is a problem that you identified. Now through research you are trying to find out answer. Okay, through research you are trying to find out answer why there is lack of productivity, what are the reasons for lack of productivity, and how it is affecting to your business, entire business. So these are the some questions to be answered. So that is why, so first you have to identify the problem. Here in our example, the problem is lack of productivity. Okay, so this is just one example. So this is the first step, formulation of research of problem. Now after identification or formulation of research problem, the next step of research is review of existing literature. Review of literature. Now what exactly review of literature? Review of literature means you are collecting the knowledges. Okay, you are collecting the knowledges, I mean you are collecting different knowledges of the topic. Okay, you are collecting different knowledge of the topic, that may be from books or journals or magazines, library or online, etc. So you are collecting the knowledges, you are collecting different knowledges on the topic is called as literature. Keep in mind, you are collecting the knowledge based on your study or your problem. So it will differ according to your study and problem. The review of literature, it will, the method or the process or the source will differ from one study to another study. Now, after review of literature, next step of research is formulation and development of working hypotheses. Now, what do you mean by hypotheses? The term assumption means, hypothesis means assumption or imagination. Okay, the term hypothesis means assumption or imagination or expectation of the researcher. Hypothesis is nothing but the assumption of the researcher, or imagination or expectation of the researcher. Okay, the person who is doing the research, he is expecting, so this will be the result. Okay, if I conduct this study, this will be the result. Okay, so that is what we call it as hypothesis. Okay, it may be right or wrong. I mean, the assumption or imagination may be right or wrong, but he is expecting that this will be the result. So that is what hypothesis. Okay, after review of literature, next step, assumption or imagination or expectation of the researcher, that is development of hypothesis, means making valid assumption. Next point, after development of working hypothesis, next point, preparation of research design. Research design, so about research design, we'll study in detail in the next videos. Now please keep in mind, research design means the overall plan of the researcher, okay, to conduct the research. The overall plan of the researcher to conduct the research is called as research design. Okay, to carry out the entire research, researcher should have overall plan. Okay, say for example, before constructing your home, you should have good plan. Okay, according to your plan, you construct a house. So that in the same way, you should have good research design. I mean, plan, a good plan. Okay, a good plan leads to a good research. So research design is nothing but overall plan of the researcher to conduct the research work. Next, after the overall plan or research design, the next step of research is determining sample. Here you have to decide on which population, I repeat, here you have to decide on which population you conduct the research. Okay, that means what exactly the size of sample, sample size, which means total number of respondents that you will collect or you include in your study. Okay, total number of respondents that you include in your study is called a sample size. So you have to decide in advance about the sample size, method of sampling, etc. So determination of sample size, total number of respondents, okay, the population, total population required to study. So this is the fifth step of your research. After research design, you take decision about the sample size and the sample method. Next, after deciding the sample size and method, next point, data collection. It is nothing but collecting the data. Okay, there are different sources for collecting data, primary data, secondary data. We'll going to study in detail about primary and secondary data in the next video. So just keep in mind, data collection is nothing but collection of the information, required information for the study. Next, after data collection, you analyze the data, analysis of data, which means evaluation of data or examination of data in detail. So that is data analysis. Data analysis means evaluation or examination of the collected data. Now after data analysis, the next step of research, testing of hypothesis. Okay, you test the hypothesis. Hypothesis means assumption, whether your assumption is right or wrong. Okay, whether your assumption is right or wrong, that is testing of hypothesis, whether your imagination is right or wrong. Okay, whether your expectation is right or wrong, that is testing of hypothesis. Next, after testing of hypothesis, next, data interpretation. So there is a difference between data interpretation and analysis of data. Okay, so data analysis means you are examining the data or studying data in detail. Data interpretation means it is nothing but systematically you arrange the data. Okay, specifically you arrange the data, that is data interpretation. Now after data interpretation, finally you go for report writing. Okay, research report writing. So report writing is the final job to be done by the researcher, and research work which is conducted by him is finally presented in the form of research report. Okay, report must be written in systematic manner, which normally should have the following parts: preliminary part, main text of the report, conclusion part, reference materials. So we'll going to study in detail in the coming videos about research report writing. I hope you understood the concept in brief, that research process. Thank you.